Hello, my name's Abigail and I'm a picky gamer, and to celebrate 100 subs, over 100 subs, which thank you so much for the support, I really can't say thank you enough, and to celebrate Halloween, I will be getting Lord Jeff with Jeff's new Halloween skin, Jeff-O-Lantern. So let's just get on into it. I couldn't decide if I wanted to keep the accessory on, the Deadpool accessory on or not. I couldn't tell if it was messing up the vibe of the costume, but I just went ahead and jumped into a game. I saw there was an Emma Frost, so I tried to emote with her, do the special emote with her, but she did not do it with me, and it low-key hurt my feelings. So I went to go sulk and make a Jeff shrine. I try to make a Jeff shrine at the beginning of every game to bring me good luck. It's my little good luck ritual that I do, and I try and use my favorite Jeff sprays. This isn't usually how I make the Jeff shrine, but now that I have the trick or treat spray and the thinking Jeff spray, which was a special Twitch drop, now that I have those, I switched it up a little bit, but later on I'll do a Jeff shrine that is more similar to how I usually do it. And here you see me doing what I will be doing a lot in these games, running for my life. This Iron Man really thought he could get me. Rest in peace, Cloak and Dagger. She did not deserve to go out like that. I had been waiting for the perfect time to ult. I was so excited to use the new effect with the Halloween skin, and it was just beautiful. It was everything I could have ever wanted. But I felt kind of bad for swallowing my Jeff brother. Rest in peace, Jeff brother. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to betray you like this. The Venom tried to kill me. He tried to get me. He tried his best. But I'm just really good at running for my life. I've had too much practice, too much experience. It was a pretty easy win because I had a W team. Shout out to them. But this next game was not a win, so there's not going to be much footage of that because it was just me suffering, really. The only footage that I'm going to include are moments that I'm proud of where I felt like I did really good because I like to self-glaze. Instead of doing a Jeff shrine at the beginning of this game, I decided to be cute and just do the special emote. If I can't make the Jeff shrine in time, I will do an emote special to Jeff if I'm playing him. And I decided to put in chat trick or treat because of the emote, and nobody cared. Which maybe it was a good thing that nobody cared because this Marvel Rivals community is so toxic and freaky. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise that nobody said anything. I'd rather nobody say anything instead of saying something freaky, which will happen later on. Again, I was just doing the usual running for my life. I really love the sound effects that Jeff's Halloween costume makes. I love the music. I love the candy instead of it being a fish that he eats to reload. That is so clever. I just love everything about this skin. This is one of the moments that I'm really proud of because the Spidey really tried to jump me. He really thought that he could get me, but I pulled the Uno reverse on him and I was able to hit that crazy shot and kill him. I definitely wanted to include this part because I just love it when I survive a Squirrel Girl ult. Not today, Satan. Not today. I hate Squirrel Girl with a passion. Unfortunately though, my Jeff skills were not enough to save us and we ended up losing that point. Spoiler alert, we ended up losing this point too. But I was desperate and I wanted to get us all the luck that we could get. I was aura farming, so I emoted and I made a Jeff shrine. This is how I usually make the Jeff shrine. I make it in the form of a cross to ward off evil spirits, to ward off toxic DPS mains, to ward off just toxic people in general from the Marvel Rivals community. But it did not work this time. We were just getting absolutely cooked by the enemy team, absolutely steamrolled. So again, not a lot of footage because I don't want you guys to have to suffer like I suffered. So on to the next match. And I decided to do the emote instead of the Jeff shrine and say trick or treat in the chat just to see what would happen. But this is the very last time I would ever say trick or treat in the chat because of what is about to happen. You see that invis? You know the invis is up to no good because she went still. She's typing, and what she types is horrendous. She said SMD, which if you're innocent like me and naive and you don't know what that means, because I didn't, I had to look it up, but I knew it was something freaky because I know the stupid Rivals community is toxic and freaky as all get out. But it means suck my D, which of course it does. I would expect nothing less from this toxic community. The only time that we took point was all because of me, because I had a really big nasty ult. Not me self-blazing or anything, it's just the honest truth. I hate it when I have to kamikaze myself, but it had to be done because I had a stupid Spider-Man. I didn't want him to swing away. But even though I had this big nasty ult, we still couldn't keep point for very long. We ended up losing point. I blame it all on that invis. It doesn't pay to be freaky. It especially doesn't pay to be freaky when someone is just trying to be cute and innocent. Since everything was going so bad, I decided to make a Jeff shrine and just sit with it for a while and let it wash over me, let it rebuke all the evil spirits around me like the stupid invis. And then this stupid daredevil just would not leave me alone. I believe half of my deaths, more than half of them, were from him. I know that's what he's supposed to do. He's a dive DPS, but still, like, bro, just leave me alone. Miraculously, I don't know how, it must be by the power of the Jeff Shrine, but we ended up winning that point. And then, while I was making my Jeff Shrine to bring us even more good luck, this happened. My teammate who switched to healer after stupid invis went to Punisher, they said, mid-match my chair broke and I fell and hit my head, ... And I said, OMG, are you okay? And the stupid invis that switched to Punisher said it looked like it, like the goober that they are. And our Iron Man called them an egghead. But luckily they were okay, they were just scared. And I told them, where is the compassion in this game? Even with two heartless people on our team, the heartless people being the invis turned Punisher and the Iron Man that called my fellow healer an egghead, we still won. For better or for worse. I guess for better since it gets me closer to Lord Jeff. And I also decided to remove the Deadpool plush because it was just not sitting right with me. I didn't really like how it was looking with the costume. In this game, I got distracted and I wasn't able to insta-lock Jeff. Someone else got to Jeff before I did. And so I decided to just play Venom. Even though I did not want to. And you know what was a cruel twist of fate? I got eaten alive by a brother Jeff who had the same exact costume. And I was so jealous of him. And then he ate me and killed me in cold blood. And I don't blame him. That was a good ult. I had to tell him, I love the pumpkin skin Jeff. And even though I didn't want to tank, the healers were really, really good. Even though the Jeff stole Jeff right from under my nose. And the rocket was absolutely goated too. I didn't keep a lot of footage of that game in because what's the point? I played Venom, not Jeff. In this next match, I made sure to insta-lock Jeff. I insta-locked him so fast. Probably the fastest I've ever insta-locked anybody. I was traumatized from him being taken from me. I love the sound effect that this costume makes when you reload, so I was just reloading constantly because I just loved the sound that it made. It scratched the right part of my brain. There's not going to be much footage of this game either because we ended up losing and I don't want you to have to suffer like I suffered. Even though we lost, I still think I did pretty good. I did my best and that's all that matters. Not me self-glazing or anything. If I thought this last match was bad, this one was going to be 10 times worse. Because in this match, there was a cheater that was absolutely steamrolling us because they had aimbot. I made my Jeff Shrine for good luck, but little did I know, no amount of luck could save us now. No amount of luck can save you from aimbot. Look at this. Look at this person hitting their shots on me. The way that they killed me. I didn't even get the time to try and use my running away skills. It was just instantaneous headshots, one after another, and before that person killed me, they killed several of my teammates with nothing but headshots. They're good players, but you can't be that good, and I feel like they were purposefully aiming at the wall to make it look like they were missing. I had literally just walked out of spawn and had just started healing my team, and then this person was already on me again, and again, they killed me with nothing but headshots, and several of my teammates were headshotted, even though this person was far away from them. But one of my teammates went into match chat and said, "Frank Eater, turn off your hacks." And then later on, another one of my teammates went into match chat and said, "Play the game, dude." And Frank Eater 45 said, "I am." And then another one of the enemy teammates said, "Bro, we're just good, relax." And then our Dr. Strange checked the cheater's account and saw that they were a level 3, which just confirms even more that they were definitely cheating. And this goober really tried to say that he was one above all on his main account, that he's just a smurf. And now I'll let my teammates take it away and do the talking for me.
Y'all, if y'all don't report this Frank guy, y'all are selling, because he's definitely cheating.
I did.
He's completely cheating. Like, it's not even like he's hiding it. He's just like instantly hitting people.
And I thought.
Headshots only.
Yeah, it has to be aimbot.
W teammates, shout out to them. I couldn't have said it better myself. And in a shocking turn of events, Frank Eater 45 started missing his shots.
Okay, now he's not as accurate. Did he turn that shit off?
And then one of my teammates went into match chat, our Dr. Strange, and she said, "Don't turn it off now." At least I had good-natured, really funny teammates. That's the only way they can deal with the horrors of a cheater being steamrolled by them. One of my teammates said in match chat, "If y'all don't report Frank Eater, you guys are selling." And I told him, consider him reported. And I thought that it would ask for the match replay code. I exited into the lobby and I went to my history to go copy the match code, but when I went to go report Frank Eater 45, it didn't even ask for the match code. And better yet, it gave me some really good news. The player you reported, Frank Eater 45, has been banned until September 30th, 2125. Is that even real? 100-year ban, bro? That is crazy. For this next game, I made a Jeff Shrine right away, right off the bat, because I just needed all the luck I could get after encountering freaking Frank Eater 45. At least he's the one with a 100-year ban and I'm not. This Invis was being really cute with me too. W Invis, I love it when the Rivals community is cute and kind. So I told her about my Jeff Shrine. I said, "It's my shrine." I usually don't explain myself when people catch me doing this unless they're being cute, like this Invis. We ended up getting our cheeks absolutely clapped, so I switched to Cloak and Dagger to try and switch things up, but it didn't really help. So there's not a lot of footage of this match either, because once again, I don't want you guys to have to suffer like I suffered. But somehow I still got a lot of points for Jeff. Rolling into this next match, I again made a Jeff Shrine right away for good luck and was just hoping that it would work this time, and to my surprise, it did. After being steamrolled and having my cheeks clapped so many times, I was finally able to clap the enemy team's cheeks. Instead of it being the other way around, I was actually able to go on a murder spree and have fun. Like the good little murderer that I am, the good little murderer that Jeff is. And then when the second round started, I again started with the Jeff Shrine, but I accidentally messed it up. So I just created a new type of Jeff Shrine off the bat. And I was so worried that that would break the good vibes, the good spirits, and we would start losing, but it did not. We ended up again smoking these goobers, which they low-key might have been bots, I don't know, but I needed the bot win. My soul needed the bot win. So either way, I needed the win after all the BS that this game has put me through. And I was even closer to Lord Jeff. So in this next game, something pretty sad happens. But for the most part, it went really, really well. It was a pretty easy game. W team, I had W teammates. But one thing that did happen that was super wild is I died. And when I died, I thought that I had accidentally gotten too close to the edge and fallen in and killed myself, and I was so embarrassed. Like, beyond embarrassed, because when I died, everything happened so fast I didn't even see the web. I didn't even know that Spider-Man had webbed me and pulled me. I had no idea. I thought that it was all my fault. And so when I looked up in the corner, I saw the kill log said that I had fallen to my death and that it was all on me. I was so embarrassed. But then when I rewatched my past life or whatever thing, when you die and it replays your death, I was shocked to see that it was a Spider-Man. But oh my goodness, I was so embarrassed. I can't even put into words how embarrassed I was. I only kept this clip in because I'm really, really proud of not having to spit out the Namor. I was just able to eat him, swallow him up, and there was nothing he could do about it. And then I was able to sneak out like nothing ever happened. And now this is the really sad thing that happened. So I ulted and I went for the healers, which included my twin, my Jeff brother, who was wearing the same exact costume as me, the Jeff-o'-lantern skin. And the stupid Penny was able to get away because I was focusing on my Jeff brother, but then my Jeff brother started surrendering to me, and I couldn't tell if he was surrendering or not. I was just kind of confused because this game has traumatized me so much. I didn't really know what to do. And oh my goodness, this image is just so sad to me, him just sitting there surrendering to me. Oh my goodness. Even as I sit here doing the voiceover right now, the guilt is still eating me alive. And to make matters worse, my good friend, one of my really good friends, was spectating me and I had no idea, and he saw the whole thing and he started whispering me and yelling at me about it. And that's when he confirmed that yes, my Jeff brother was surrendering to me. Snoozer scared the dookie out of me, like for real. I was not expecting him to be spectating me. I don't really expect anybody, any of my Marvel Rivals people that I have friended to spectate me. So that whisper was one of the worst jump scares in my life. It was even worse than watching a horror movie. I felt like I feel like Snoozer was like my Jesus and he was condemning me for my sins. And right as I died, we ended up losing the battle. And I told my friend, oh my goodness, you jump scared the F out of me. He made me feel so guilty. I realized right there and then I had to apologize to my Jeff brother. So I said, I'm sorry, Jeff brother. I didn't realize you were trying to be friendly until it was too late. I apologize. My Jeff brother replied and said, it's okay. And I said, thank you for understanding, twin. And I told my friend I'm apologizing now, and he is really nice. And I told him I would send him a friend request, which I did, and he accepted, thank goodness. So that kind of eases my guilt a little bit, but not really. Hopefully I can repay him someday. And from here on out, Snoozer is gonna help me grind Lord Jeff. He is an amazing healer, one of the best Invis and one of the best Lunas I've ever seen in my whole Marvel Rivals life. I am eternally grateful for Snoozer's help, and I am going to be even more grateful after this crazy, crazy match because Snoozer is a real one. He stood up for me when this absolute goober came for me for no good reason. The match started out fine. I was just having a grand old time, healing my teammates, being a good Jeff, being a good healer. It was going great. I was having a fun time with my friend. I didn't really have a care in the world. The only time I had a care is when this Storm ulted and her ult is deadly. And I knew they had a Jeff too, and I didn't know if the Jeff had his ult ready. So I was scared that the Jeff NATO was going to kill me because the Jeff NATO kills you instantaneously. So I ulted to get away from the Storm's ult and the Jeff NATO if it turned into a Jeff NATO. And I swallowed the Jeff. I wasn't really aiming for him. I just knew that my ult was about to be wasted. I didn't want to waste my ult, so I swallowed him while I could. I hate this map. I hate this map so much because the fog, the mist is so dense and so thick. I don't really ever, whenever I play QP, I don't get this map that much. So I don't know where the fog is and where it's not really. And so when I went to go spit him over the edge, the fog was blocking my way, and I thought I was at the edge when I spat him out, but I was not. I was actually quite far from the edge, so he was able to get out of the ult. He wasn't even the one who killed me. It was the storm who hit the shot on me. What was I supposed to do? They were taking point. All my teammates were dead because I did a stupid ult. How was I supposed to survive that? The storm hit all her shots on me, so I didn't even have time to go under, and yet this goober still had the audacity to say, I just knew that this was coming my way. I already knew that this Jeff was gonna say something like this, because the moment that I died, the moment my body hit the floor, I saw his body go completely still, and I knew that meant that he had to be typing something because I had made such a ridiculous play. I will admit, what I did was stupid, but I can't be perfect 24/7. I had been grinding Lord Jeff for like almost 2 hours at this point, so whoops, I had one bad ult. I probably had a handful of bad ults if you count all my other games, but wow, who cares? Only a ragebaiter would care. I usually try not to let these goobers get to me. I know that it's wiser not to say anything back, just play the game, let the stats speak for themselves, because I knew that I was a better Jeff than him. I was already doing better than him, and the game had barely just started. But I don't know, I'm just so sick of this rivals community being so toxic. I had to stand up for myself. So I said, okay goober, it was an honest mistake. Sorry I can't be perfect 24/7, jeez. And of course it did not take long for him to respond. But when he did, he had to correct himself because he couldn't even say what he wanted to say right. He replied and said, you effing suck, try hard. And I thought he was calling me a try hard, but then he corrected himself and said, try harder. And my friend Snoozer stood up for me and said, shut your you-know-what up, it's QP, which he was 100% right about. It's just QP, bro. And then Snoozer said, she's doing better than you are. And the evil Jeff said, I don't care, lock in. And Snoozer said, okay. And I felt the same exact way. I was ready to drop this. I was ready to just play the game. This next part right here has absolutely nothing to do with the goober in question. I am just really proud of myself for hitting that shot on that Spidey, because he really tried to jump me. He thought he could get me, and he was wrong about that. And then I also hit a crazy shot on Cloak and Dagger. But you know what's even crazier than that shot? This idiot that said that he doesn't care, lock in. He came back into match chat and he said, white knighting a bee that's 300 pounds, eating only Cheeto Puffs. That's crazy for someone who just wants to lock in and doesn't care to say. And then Snoozer said, she's my friend, why would I not defend her? W Snoozer. And this is when another goober enters the chat. This was someone from the enemy team, and at first I thought this person wasn't gonna be a goober. I was actually liking this person because they defended Snoozer. They said, that's a good friend move, not gonna lie, I feel you. And so I was feeling them. I was like, okay, they're gonna be cool. Well, spoiler alert, they are not cool. And then someone else from the enemy team put liar in match chat, which I don't even know what the point of that was. But then, just when you think things can't get any worse, the evil Jeff put in match chat, cause you're secretly trying to hit, I know you are. And Snoozer replied and said, only Reddit users think like that. W comeback. Basically the evil Jeff was accusing Snoozer of love bombing me, which couldn't be further from the truth. Not only was he accusing Snoozer of love bombing me, but other diabolical things. which were just totally uncalled for. And then the poor Storm on the enemy team was just begging the Jeff to shut up and play the game. I feel so bad for her. She just wanted Jeff to heal and be a good Jeff. And he was not being a good Jeff. Unlike me. And then this goober had the audacity to put in match chat that he is better than all of us. So I finally had a good ult in this game. I was able to swallow the cloak and dagger and spit her out over the edge. I was actually at the edge this time, and shortly after that I heard a horrific sound. I heard my evil Jeff brother ult. I was trying to get ready to go underground because when you're playing Jeff and your fellow Jeff ults, you can make sure that you don't get eaten by going under. But then I heard the Storm ult too, and so not only did he swallow me, but the Jeff NATO ult killed me instantaneously. And of course this gave my evil Jeff brother fuel to say, see, I'm better. What's really sad about this whole situation is that his own teammates were begging him to be quiet. And then in this next clip, I had an ult. And I don't know why, but I let the evil Jeff scare me. I thought that he would kill me before I could throw them off. So I went up the walls instead of focusing on killing the 3 people that I swallowed. And of course, that gave him fuel to say, Jeff, you suck. Which I will admit, yeah, that was a bad ult. But in the end, my stats are better. The only thing I ever said to that Jeff was the thing I said in the very beginning where I said, sorry, I can't be perfect 24/7 and all that. I waited. I knew we were going to win. I had a deep feeling in my gut that we were going to win. So I was just waiting until the end of the game to fully talk back and say the stats don't lie. Which, in this case, they really don't lie because, man, I smoked him. I got Lord Jeff on this game, and I didn't even realize because I was so locked into chat and paying attention to what was going on. I didn't even clock that I had gotten Lord Jeff until way later. So after locking in and ignoring the Jeff for the rest of the match after he said what he initially said and I replied, that's the only time I ever spoke to him in match chat. And I waited until we won because I knew that we were going to win because our team was just better. Then I talked back to him and I said, I fear you're wrong, buddy. Stats don't lie. And then that goober that I thought wasn't going to be a goober and I thought he was going to be pretty chill because when Snoozer said, she's my friend, why would I not defend her? He said, that's a good friend move, not going to lie. So I was low-key liking him. And then he came into match chat and he mocked me and he said, I fear you're a loser. And I knew that he was talking to me, but Snoozer got confused and he read the text as, I fear you're a sore loser. So he thought that this goober was talking to his fellow goober teammate, the evil Jeff. And so when I replied to him and I said, I don't recall losing, because technically we didn't lose. I'm not a loser. I was just stating a fact. And he replied and said, I don't recall giving an F, and then he called me the R slur, and Snoozer started whispering me, and he was like, no, don't do it, he's not talking to you, he's talking to the enemy Jeff, to their Jeff. And then I felt bad, and I was like, oh, I thought he was talking to me, so I apologized. I don't blame Snoozer at all in the slightest for being confused because loser is a horrible choice of words, something that only an idiot would choose to say as their comeback. I'm not angry with him at all. It's just a funny situation. It's just something to look back at and laugh. It's honestly hilarious. But either way, I don't feel bad for apologizing because it just shows that number one, I was confused, and number two, no matter what, I will always be the bigger person. I am not above apologizing. When I think I'm wrong, I will apologize. And even though I was genuinely sorry, because I genuinely believe that I was in the wrong, I made sure to tell him, sorry, but that doesn't mean that you have to use slurs, because he had no right to pull out the R word against me. That just goes to show what type of person he is. This really is just a funny situation because I accidentally pulled the ultimate Uno reverse on this person because I was so confused, because when I apologized he said, dude, you literally started that, which I would like to say, no, I did not. Now that I fully understand the situation upon editing this video and realizing that this person said loser, not sore loser, like I had believed, I can safely make an argument now. So, buddy, I did not start that. You started that. I said, I fear you're wrong, buddy, to the enemy Jeff. I was talking to the enemy Jeff. I did not point that towards you at all. And then this person just felt the need to reply and say, I fear you're a loser, which again, horrible choice of words. He did not need to self-insert him into the situation, but he did. When I said I don't recall losing, which is the honest truth, I didn't lose. I'm not a loser. In this moment in time, I was not a loser. I was a winner. I won that match because I had a good team. And then he replied and said, I don't recall giving an F. Well, if you don't give an F, why did you say anything at all? Why didn't you just go Q and get into another game? Okay, buddy? And then I noticed that I had a little red dot on my heroes page, and when I checked it, I finally realized, oh, I got Lord Jeff. I finally accomplished the goal that I set out to do for this video. I got Lord Jeff with the Jeff-O-Lantern skin. So now that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. This video was a celebration for 100 subscribers, but since then I have hit 300 subscribers and I am super close to hitting 400. I cannot believe it. Thank you so much. I cannot say thank you enough for all the support, all the likes, all the shares, all the comments. It means the world to me, more than I could ever say. I know I keep saying that, but it's just the honest truth. I am so thankful for every person here watching, everyone who even watches for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And I put my heart and soul into this video because I really am thankful, and I hope you guys think it's funny. I know I probably seem like a goober too for getting a little heated about these goobers in this Marvel Rivals community. Happy Halloween to everyone who celebrates. If you are going trick-or-treating with a friend, or you're babysitting and you're going trick-or-treating with your siblings, your younger siblings, I hope that you stay safe out there, because there are not only goobers in the Rivals community, but there are goobers in the real world, unfortunately. So just stay safe out there. Let me know in the comment section if you're going to dress up. I'm going to be dressing up as Supergirl, and my dog Luna is going to be Crypto because she looks like a mini version of Crypto. And thank you so much for 100, 200, and now 300 subscribers. I love you guys. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.